want to understand something, the best way is to try and explain it to someone else. That forces you to sort it out in your own mind, and the more slow and dim-witted your pupil, the more you have to break things down into more and more simple ideas. And that's really the essence of programming. By the time you've sorted out a complicated idea into little steps that even a stupid machine can deal with, you've certainly learnt something about it yourself. The teacher usually learns more than the pupil. Isn't that true? It would be hard to learn much less than my pupils, came a low growl from somewhere on the table, without undergoing a prefrontal lobotomy. So I used to spend days struggling to write essays on this 16K machine that would have taken a couple of hours on a typewriter. But what was fascinating to me was the process of trying to explain to the machine what it was I wanted it to do. I virtually wrote my own word processor in BASIC. A simple search and replace routine would take about 3 hours. I forget, said Reg. Did you ever get any essays done at all? Well, not as such, said Richard. I mean, not actual essays, but the reasons why not were absolutely fascinating. For instance, I discovered that... He broke off, laughing at himself. I was also playing keyboards in a rock group, of course, he added. That didn't help. Now, that I didn't know, said Reg. Your past has murkier things in it than I dreamed possible. A quality, I might add, that it shares with this soup. He wiped his mouth with his napkin very carefully. I must go and have a word with the kitchen staff one day. I would like to be sure that they're keeping the right bits and throwing the proper bits away. So, a rock group, you say? Well, 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 good heavens. Yes, said Richard, we called ourselves the Reasonably Good Band, but in fact we weren't. Our intention was to be the Beatles of the early 80s, but we got much better financial and legal advice than the Beatles ever did, which was basically, don't bother, so we didn't. I left Cambridge and starved for 3 years. But didn't I bump into you during that period, said Reg, and you said you were doing very well? As a road sweeper, yes, there was an awful lot of mess on the roads, more than enough, I felt, to support an entire career. However, I got the sack for sweeping the mess onto another sweeper's patch. Reg shook his head. The wrong career for you, I'm sure. There are plenty of occasions where such behaviour would ensure rapid preferment. I tried a few, said Richard, none of them much grander, though, and I kept none of them very long, because I was always too tired to do them properly. I'd be found asleep slumped over the chicken sheds or filing cabinets, depending on what the job was. Been up all night with the computer, you see, teaching it to play Three Blind Mice. It was an important goal for me. I'm sure, agreed Reg. Thank you, he said to the college servant, who took his half-finished plate of soup from him. Thank you very much. 3 blind mice, eh? Good, good. So, no doubt you succeeded eventually, and this accounts for your present celebrated status, yes? Well, there's a bit more to it than that. I feared there might be. Pity you didn't bring it with you, though. It might have